I'm Dr. Gala and thanks for joining me. You might have noticed that my channel name is a little different than the one you see here on YouTube. We are not just about how to solve a problem or make your life better. It is also all about becoming more successful in every single area of our lives. And because watching videos takes up so much time these days and also energy, subscribing ensures that you won't miss any new releases from the Transformational Doctor Showcase series. Don't forget to click on the bell for new notifications. Activate them. Today's topic is why self-affirmation may not work for you. And I was motivated to reflect on this topic when a friend of mine insisted that reciting an empowering mantra to help us build new empowering beliefs about ourselves is key to succeed. That's something like I'm confident, I'm courageous, I'm abundance, etc. But how does this practice impact our ego? The potential link between reciting mantras and self-affirmations such as I'm beautiful, I'm good is well explained in the scientific literature. But today, let's dive in. According to self-enhancement theorists, people have a fundamental need or motive to maintain a positive global evaluation. When the self-concept, that is the ego, is strengthened, people experience psychological discomfort that they are motivated to reduce at any cost. Some of these strategies have been discussed in the lesson about ego in the Mindful You Mastermind. For example, making downward social comparisons so that you feel better about yourself is one of those strategies. Still, self-affirmation theory suggests that when faced with a trait, it can be helpful to affirm some aspects of ourselves unrelated to the trait in domain. For example, if someone says something negative about your clothing style, you could respond by affirming what is important to yourself, not to let this criticism affect how you see and how you feel about who you are as a whole person. It sounds like an ego defense mechanism at work, right? It's trying to protect against perceived threats where there really isn't one. I think it is fair to say that self-affirmations can be used to protect your ego. If this is the case, using them will only strengthen the ego. I'm not interested in whether self-affirmations work or not. I'm more interested in why people use them. If, for example, a client of mine tells me she uses self-affirmations like in this example I just mentioned before, I would dig deeper and try to unveil the aspects of their ego that seemingly needs to be protected. Why is your clothing style so important to you? Where did this belief come from? Awareness of the things we identify with can be an important first step to reduce the ego's need to protect the self-image. Just imagine how tiring it must be to defend your self-image constantly. There is possibly a possible trait anywhere. There is a lot to be gained from seeing through the illusory nature of your self-image. It's a narrative. It is not you. Second, I have a related problem with citing mantras and self-affirmations because they are cognitive tricks to convince the self of something. I've had clients who told me they know what to say to themselves but still don't feel that way. That's because strong negative feelings will not vanish when you try to convince yourself that you don't feel them or experience something different. If, let's say, you suffer from shallow levels of self-acceptance, trying to convince yourself in the mirror that you are worth it will probably have absolutely little effects. Those are hollow statements as they do not come from a deep realization that you are good enough. In fact, citing mantras and self-affirmations can also be used as a way to avoid the experience of emotions. It's contrary completely to mindfulness. If they are used in this way, they can be labeled as experiential avoidance strategies linked to lower well-being levels. For example, imagine you feel sad. You are afraid of this feeling, or you don't want to feel this way. Rather than practicing mindful acceptance, which we have discussed before, you start reciting self-affirmations such as I feel happy or I'm happy. Although they may make you feel better for a moment, their motivation is problematic and will only strengthen non-accepting relationship with emotions. And at a deeper level, as paradoxical as it may sound, lower your level of self-acceptance as you are not allowing yourself to be lower. Thus, when saying things like I'm good enough comes from a need to feel different, you're practicing non-acceptance and thereby strengthen the very thing you want to reduce. A conditional relationship with yourself, where you have to feel X or Y to be good enough. Another question I'm sure that is coming up to your mind is, so what's the alternative? Allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to experience the full range of emotions. The best place to start building a healthy, accepting relationship with yourself, where your ego can function in a healthy way, is by embracing yourself at this moment, not by citing self-affirmations. Because, it's who are you trying to convince? There is a huge difference between knowing that you are okay the way you are and trying to convince yourself that you are okay. Simply learn to be present with whatever arises at this moment. By doing so, you open the gates to a more friendly relationship with yourself, where you are allowed to make mistakes, you are allowed to cry, you are allowed to fail to achieve goals. This is the foundation of everything. Mantras and self-affirmations are very often not helpful here. And this is it for today. I'll see you next time.